Do you like my moo-moo? He has a tail. Welcome back, friends, to the 52 Sunday Dinners Project. We have made it back around into 2024, and today we are finally going to get to the first Sunday dinner. And here is what we'll be making today. We are starting the year off with stuffed steak, browned potatoes, creamed cauliflower, evaporated peaches, beaten biscuits, and we're actually adding the Parkerhouse Rolls in here this week as well. Then for our salad, we will have a fruit salad. For dessert, we have the option to do plum pudding with sauce or lemon pie. And I think we have decided that instead of an or, we're going to do and. So we will do both the plum pudding and the lemon pie, and you know we're having coffee. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. My name is Ashley, and I'm a registered dietitian with a love of all things vintage and food. I'd like to give a little bit of an introduction for all of you joining us after this project has completed. Those of you from the future are probably either starting today at week 1, or you may have seen 1 or 2 other videos and you're coming back to week 1 to go all the way through. We started this project in August of 2023 at week 31, I believe. So if you start today, you go all the way through and you're like, oh, wow, look at all these improvements. And then you get to week 31 and you're like, what the heck happened to this girl? We did not suddenly just regress in our cooking skills and lose all of them at week 31. We actually started this project in the summer and wanted to do this project as it was meant seasonally and economically. This project was inspired by this cookbook right here. This is the 52 Sunday Dinners cookbook, and it's from Women's World magazine in 1924. The point of this project is twofold, and while we are recreating these recipes, that's kind of just, I guess, the outlet of the point of what we're doing. The first goal of this project is mostly to create a community around these recipes. Many of you remember your moms, grandparents, aunt and uncles, neighbors. A lot of you grew up with these recipes and you don't see them that often anymore, or you don't see them made like they used to be made. When we recreate these recipes, or at least try to recreate these recipes as they were written, it brings back a lot of memories for many of you that maybe have been buried for a little while, or maybe that you don't have anybody to talk to about and share those memories with. So this is the place to start doing that. No matter when you're watching this, if you go down and look into the comments, you're going to see tons of other people's memories and maybe some that you can relate to too. And if you start commenting and leaving your memories, you may find other people that are responding to you, and you may be forming friendship. In just a few months, many of you have shared so many memories with me, and we've bonded over a lot of this stuff, and we've formed friendships across the globe. Now, I may never lay eyes on you. I may never lay eyes on you. We may never actually get to hug each other, but we can feel that love, camaraderie, bonding through this project from all over the world. And I think that's so important. The other point of this project is maybe on the opposite side of the scale of this. So for many of you, you remember these recipes, you're able to offer help when I'm making mistakes. You are the experts in this. On the other side, what I'm really hoping to do is to inspire people with my level of skills or even lower level of skills. It can be really scary to try new things. Maybe you want to learn a little bit more about how to cook these types of recipes, or it might not even be anything to do with this. There might be something that you really want to try, but you're afraid to fail at it. You've tried maybe something a little bit before and people have been really critical of your attempt. And maybe the people that have been really critical of your attempt are you. It might be your own voice in your head saying that you failed at this, you're not good enough, you shouldn't even try because it's going to be terrible. I really hope that if you are one of those people and you're watching this, that you can look at what we're doing. And sometimes we have these amazing turnouts. We have huge successes, but A lot of the times we don't. A lot of these recipes are either a failure of the recipe and it's a little disappointing because we were so looking forward to it. But many times it's that I have read the recipe wrong. I haven't done the correct technique to it. It's my mistake, something I've done and miserably failed at it. And that's okay. It's happening week after week after week, but we're continuing to keep going and improving, hopefully. And the other thing that's really helpful, I think, with my failures is that if you go down, you look in the comments, and you see the things that I have failed at. Those of you who know what you're doing, you're leaving help, you're leaving comments, you're leaving hints that are not just helping me, it is definitely helping me to learn, but you're also helping everybody who comes after me and is looking down to figure out, okay, I really liked that recipe that she did, but she did a terrible job at it. How do I fix it? Maybe somebody goes down, tells you step by step how to fix it, and you can try it out and be successful at it. I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions for myself. I'm more of a goal setter than a resolution maker. However, in this year, 2024, what I really hope for this channel here is that the community that you all have built around these videos, that we use it to build each other up. And even if just one person is helped through this, if we can all build the confidence of one beautiful person in this world, then I think this whole goal has been accomplished. Now, if you've seen all that and you would still like to join us with this project, we're gonna get some aprons on and get into the kitchen. Now it calls for the juice, the butter, and the yolks. Nowhere in this recipe does it mention the zest after it says to zest the lemon. It doesn't say where they want the zest in. We're gonna go ahead and assume it's in the pie. It could be in the meringue. It could be, I have no idea, as a garnish afterward. We don't know. We're not sure. also don't know. I don't think it says to take it off the heat here. I don't know if we are supposed to take it off the heat, but we're adding these egg yolks and I don't want to cook and scramble egg yolks in here, so we're gonna take it off the heat, I think. Tori also just made an excellent point and said, well, did you temper the yolks? And I said, no, I added them because it said to add them. And probably they would have known back then to temper the egg yolks. And so if you are doing this and you don't want scrambled eggs, temper your egg yolks. Oh, look at that. Those might be scrambled eggs. Whoopsie poopsie. Well, as we were getting ready to get the suet together, I don't know, this is the second time this has happened, and I don't know if suet is just extremely perishable or I need to look that up. We've had the suet for like 7 days, 6 or just, I don't even know that we've had it a full week or not, but it's already very not good. It's molding and stinks horribly. So I think for next time, I have to make sure to just, as soon as I get it, chop it all up, grind it all up, and get it in the freezer immediately because it won't keep. I assumed it was like any other fat, like butter or lard or any other type of fat, and that it would hold in the refrigerator under cooling for a good long while. Every grocery store where I am at had 0 peaches. In the areas where they advertised peaches, there were apples. And so we had the option to either omit this recipe completely or substitute a little bit. And so we're going to use canned peaches instead. And I have the kind, I could either use juice or syrup. And I figured since this one says to sweeten to taste, we would just use the ones with the syrup. All we're gonna do is cook this down a little further. It says to serve it as a relish. So we'll cook it down, I guess, kind of let it break down and mash up a little bit and then just let it cool. And that's all we're gonna do for this. If you were in this situation and would have done something differently, or you know what we should have substituted instead, if this is not an, I guess, a close substitute, let us know what we should have done differently or how else we could have substituted this. I looked a lot of places and could not find white cherries, either canned nor fresh. I found a company that does canned Rainier cherries, but they were completely sold out online. This is what we're going to use to substitute. I went to Aldi, I got these lovely cherries. Now they're in syrup, and so I don't know if there is some cherry juice in here. I don't think it's what they would have meant. So we do have some cherry juice here, the canned cherry juice, and that's what we're gonna use as a substitute to try to be as accurate as possible with what we have to work with. Okay, so we're pretty sure when it said 1 cup juice, half cherry, half pineapple, they meant a cup of juice, which is a half a cup of pineapple juice, a half a cup of cherry juice, not 1 cup of the juice and half of the pineapples and half of the cherries. So, whoopsie, we're just fixing that here. Okay, now once the juice has cooled, we're supposed to pour it over top here, and it's cool. It's cooled in there, and it's set. It cooled enough that the gelatin set, and it's not coming out. So I guess we will just sort of, should we heat this? back up a little bit?
No.
What do we do in this situation?
Accept our failure? And we don't have enough juice to redo it, do we?
I mean, I could get more juice, but I don't, well,
I mean, you already dumped it in, so it's too late.
well, right, but the ratios wouldn't be any different. So if
Yeah, but it shouldn't have set that long.
Oh, so it's the timing. It's how long I let it sit.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so if you're doing this at home, don't assume you can just let it cool for like 20 minutes and do something else. Keep an eye on it and be ready to pour it in when it has just started to cool. The mayo that we have here is the recipe that Ben sent us. I don't know if I will put us making the mayo in this video or if I will show it to you in a separate video. Then, in addition to all of this mayo, we also need a pint of whipped cream. So this is getting to be interesting looking. All right, we are about to find out if this mold worked out and will in fact unmold and keep its shape on here, or if we're going to have another soupy mess. But hopefully we're gonna try and unmold it without dipping it in water first. If it doesn't come out of here, we'll dip it quickly in some warm water and hopefully that will do it. Wish us luck. Oh no. It's also difficult to do this on lettuce. One, two, three. Okay. You can do it. Come on, little guy. Okay, it's definitely not coming out of the mold. Okay, we're gonna dip it in water. Let's get my fingers in here. All right, good enough. That seems like the appropriate number of milliseconds. I don't want to melt it. Ready? 1, 2. Okay. I don't think it's coming out.
Do you think running a knife on the edges is going to help?
Maybe running a knife on the... Well, I know. I don't know.
Well,
what are your thoughts? Can you come over here and put your hands on the inside while I put my hands on the outside? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Not the worst.
It's not the worst. I think if we would have used not a silicone mold, this would have been okay. Well, maybe we'll just make it a ring now. All right, lesson learned for next time. This is not for Jell-O molds, and use a hard-sided one next time. Definitely use the lobster.
I mean, it does look a little bit like crab salad to me.
Yes. It doesn't tell us how much liquid to use of anything. I don't know if we're supposed to use milk and half and half, milk or half and half. It's just occurring to me right now as we're speaking. They don't mean half and half. They mean half milk, half ice water.
I don't know, just because of the way that it's written.
Yeah, the way it's written is really stupid.
Yeah.
I know that we can look this up, but my hands are sticky with flour, and I would like to just have this conversation with you as if you were sitting right here across from me. Tori and I are picturing you being in this kitchen right now, talking to us. And so pretend you're right here, and I'm just asking you, what does work on a kneader mean? What was a kneader? What did it mean? And am I for real supposed to just pull this out and beat it with a mallet? Okay.
I don't know if it means like this kind of mallet
Okay.
or like mortar and pestle mallet.
Wouldn't it say with a pestle?
No, because that is still considered a mallet. I don't care what a kneader is. I just want to beat it with a mallet.
Okay.
That's it.
Or are you stepping in? You already have the mallet in your hand. Have you stepped in for this part?
I just want to beat it with a mallet.
Okay. All right. This is weird. This is very weird to me. Okay. Another thing we're discussing here, this is a pretty thick steak meat. I asked them for a cut of round and I think they gave me sirloin instead. The package said sirloin, so I'm not sure if this is correct or not, but looking at the thickness of this here, it just seems like it might be too thick to be able to flatten, and I think I should cut it in half. I think that's the determination we're going to go with. We're just going to slice this in half here. Tell me if you think that that was correct, or if I should have kept it whole like this and just kept pounding the crap out of it. Yeah, let us know what you think we should have done here. Tori has pointed out that there is a lot of pounding in this week's recipes, the biscuits, and maybe they understood that Christmas was extremely stressful, and so this was an outlet for the women. Just pound all of the food as an outlet for stress. We are now going to flour this steak, and we have 2 steaks here. There's still this much breadcrumb left over, and I don't know if I was supposed to use more, if that's just a lot of leftover, if the steaks should have been bigger. I'm not sure, but just for those of you trying this in the future, there's a lot of leftover breadcrumb. It also doesn't tell us what to do with the egg, so as Tori has said, she used her deductive reasoning. We think the egg is for an egg wash for flouring the steak here. Drippings are melted in the bottom of this pan. We're gonna put the steak in. It looks like it's starting to cook in there, but I don't hear it sizzling, although the hood fan behind me is making a lot of noise, so. I'm assuming we're supposed to brown this in the oven, not let it cook sitting here. So I'm gonna stick this back in the oven, turn it periodically, hopefully it browns on all sides, and then we'll get the water and the potatoes in here. We were not sure if we were gonna make it for dinner tonight or if we would have to do this in 2 days, but the disappointment in the suet and the ability, I guess, to eliminate that recipe has given us a little bit of extra time, and so we have finished this up today and we're ready to try everything. Is a tablecloth for decoration or for protection of the table, do you think?
Both.
Okay, because I feel like I need some sort of a protection for my tablecloth. Because I don't want to mess my tablecloth up. It's so beautiful.
I think tablecloths like this are mostly decoration.
Okay.
But you do have some that are just bleh. They're still pretty, but comparatively.
You take that back right now.
I love every single one of your tablecloths that I have seen.
Darn tootin'. And I want to show them. You guys can see what this looks like in the middle there. Peaches.
Going to the country.
Ooh. Initial reaction already is
this?
Well,
because it said prick with fork, so I was already expecting them to be
hardtack
like.
Yeah.
But they're more hardtack than hardtack-like.
Yeah. Man, when it was like, oh yeah, beat this until it's glossy, I was just expecting it was going to be like, I don't know why my expectation was like, oh yes, I'm going to get this buttery and glossy and beautiful and it's going to be so wonderful.
They're not terrible.
They're just not a fluffy biscuit. They're almost like a cracker biscuit. It tastes more like a cracker almost.
I think this will be really good with like sausage gravy. Like breakfast biscuits and sausage gravy.
Okay.
Try the peaches on it.
Ooh, yeah. I was about to say, I feel like it'd be an okay shortcake. You're right.
That was even funnier from my angle.
The peaches just kept coming. That's delicious with the peaches. You are so right. I think this biscuit would be a better dessert biscuit than to eat with this meal. I don't know why I just shoved the whole thing in my mouth. I would really like to break this up into little pieces in the summertime and chunk strawberries up over top of it.
That would be really good.
Well, can we have a Parkerhouse roll with this instead? Look at these. Look at how lovely these look. Tori did a beautiful job. Oh, it's so pretty. You did such a nice job.
Thank you.
It smells very yeasty. Let's actually eat the meat first. We're supposed to. Just going straight in on that.
I prefer carbs.
I don't think that a butter knife is actually. Oh, nope. Butter knife is not going to cover this one. Actually, yes, it will. I thought it wasn't, and then it did. Okay. It smells strong of onion. Might be the giant chunks of onion right there, if you want to see this. The stuffing inside looks a little bit dry to me. Before we start, it does look a little bit dry, and I'm wondering where it said moisten. Did it mean the stuffing before we put it in? Like the breadcrumbs before we put it in? Did it mean the outside? I'm not sure, but with how dry and crumbly it is on the inside, I'm thinking we should have moistened it with something.
Maybe.
Go ahead.
The same complaint I have about pretty much every dish is just very bland. And you did season it. It's also tough, but I think that's just the cut rather than anything.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think it's too bland. It's not punching you with flavor. But I would agree, it's a little tough, and my bites so far, the one bite I took, has been a little bit dry, but that's on me because I haven't put the gravy on. So I'll try it with a little bit of gravy. Does the potato taste like a potato? And do you like it? Because it's a potato.
It does also help with the dryness of the beef.
Okay. I'll try that together. Yeah, I'd say overall, with the beef, it's good. I think it's not bad at all. The cut is just a little bit tough. And again, I don't know a lot about different cuts. I did ask for round at the butcher. They did give me a package that said sirloin. I don't know enough about the differences in cuts at this point in my life to know if sirloin is tougher than round, if it wouldn't be the most appropriate to use, if they're actually the same thing and I don't know what I'm talking about here. I'm not sure, but I'd say if this was a little more tender of a cut of meat, I think it would be great. I mean, we're saying it's tough, and it is tough to chew, but we're mostly cutting, well, except for you right now. I was about to say we're mostly cutting it with a butter knife, so it's not that tough. So we aren't sure if the peach is supposed to be relish for the steak or not, but we're going to try it. I don't think I've ever had peaches on beef.
I think if it were a different stone fruit, this would be really good.
Like a plum?
A plum, an apricot,
Okay.
something. Anything other than peaches.
Because you don't like peaches.
Correct, yes.
Not because the peaches don't go well with this.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, I
think the concept goes well together.
Yes.
My aversion to peaches
Mm-hmm.
makes me want a different type of fruit.
Oh. I would say, as someone who really likes peaches, I did not expect this to work and to go well together. Like, hey, let's put some peaches on your beef. Oh. What's that game show? Name a sentence you can say in the kitchen and on your honeymoon. Anyhow, I didn't expect the peaches and the steak to work. But they really do. It's almost like, I don't want to say, for me, they almost cancel each other out. Does that? The way I'm saying it, I don't think it makes sense out loud. But as I was eating it, it was like I wasn't eating beef and peaches separately. It was like they came together to make something else that worked well. Like, it wasn't even like they were complementing each other. The peach didn't bring out the beef. The beef didn't bring out the peach. They meshed together to become a new flavor. Is
Yes.
that? Okay.
I understand what you mean.
Okay. Let's try the cauliflower after all that weirdness. It smells very cruciferous.
I don't think the cream sauce does anything for it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked this just on its own.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a terrible sauce. I just...
Mm-hmm.
does nothing.
It's unnecessary. Now, there's a decent chance for today's cauliflower, it doesn't need it. It's not helping it any. It's not hurting it. It's just there. Like, the cauliflower is fine on its own without the cream sauce. 1924 cauliflower in January might have needed the cream sauce to help it out a little bit.
That's a good point.
In the same way, I don't think we really needed... Calm down. I don't think we really needed to soak this cauliflower for an hour in salt water. Now, if it was coming straight from my garden, maybe we would want to soak it a little longer to get some of those bugs out of there. Or if 1924 cauliflower, before we have kind of switched some things around with our food a little bit, it might have not been so tender and we might have needed it to soak longer like that.
I think it might also be like marinating, like brining it.
All right, let's try out, after you finish, let's try out these rolls. I'm gonna need two, or I guess I could do one side and the other, because I want one buttered and one unbuttered.
They smell really good.
They smell really good. You're amazing.
I know.
I think you did
I did
an
a
excellent
really good
job.
Wow, Ashley, you really redeemed yourself on these Parkerhouse Rolls.
Look at how much better I'm doing. I'm really improving in my baking skills. I don't know if you can tell. I was so excited about these two. I'm like, ha! Toot my little horn here. I'm so proud. These are my biscuits. Wah, wah.
I think these did turn out the way they were supposed to, though.
Yeah. Never in my life have I been accused of having any flat biscuits. Anyhow, with the butter. The only thing better is if we would have pulled this out when they were warm.
I'm very proud of myself.
You should be. These are fantastic. Okay. The Parkerhouse roll recipe is a good recipe, we have determined. It is not the fault of the recipe that I tried however many weeks ago, or if you're watching starting from the first many, many months in advance. The Parkerhouse rolls from today that Tori did are fantastic.
You redeemed yourself by bringing in a better baker.
Yes. Maybe this is going to be really good. There's whipped cream. There's mayonnaise. There's nuts. There's fruit. You like all of those things, correct?
I do. I don't like mayonnaise with these things.
Okay. Hope for the best. The noise that this is making coming out of here.
So unpleasant. I was trying so hard not to make a face.
Oh.
I mean, it's the lettuce terry.
Yes.
But still.
Okay. This is what we're going to be trying next. It probably looks better on camera than what it looks in person, because I'm not sure. Okay, this is going to be really good. Let's be positive. You remember our thoughts before we tried the suet pudding the first time? And we were so afraid, and then we almost dropped F-bombs. It was so good. This is going to be the same. It's going to be good. Get a cherry in there.
It does look like rosemary without the orzo.
Yes. Did that have mayonnaise in it?
No.
Okay.
But I'm pretending
Yes.
that this is just rosemary without the orzo.
Yes. Okay. It's going to be really good. It is.
It's going to be
It's going to be
so
delicious.
good.
Stop it. You can't say it with sarcasm. You have to say it.
That wasn't sarcasm.
I don't want to smell it because I know it's going to smell like mayonnaise. I don't want to smell it first. I'm going to eat it first, and then I will smell it and tell you what I think of what it smells like. Because I already smelled it a little and know it smells like mayonnaise. Okay. Vision-wise, not cute. You know what? Part of the problem with the vision, though, because I'm like, this is like all these little chunks all through it. That's my fault. This might look prettier if I hadn't let the gelatin juice sit as long. This might be shinier, more molded, and prettier. And if I had put it in a hard-sided mold, it would probably be prettier. So that's my fault. This is not your fault, Jell-O salad. That's my fault. And you are beautiful in your own way.
I will also say some of the best foods, just in general, but also in this cookbook, are the slop foods.
Yes. You're not slop.
Okay. Slop is not an insult.
Like, I don't want to do it. Okay, I'm going to, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's really good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, taste it. It's not really good. I just wanted you to... It's not really good. It's not that bad. You're being really dramatic.
No, it is that bad.
It is not that bad.
It is that bad.
Okay, it's not good. It's very heavy in mayonnaise. The whipped cream is not helping to cut the mayonnaise at all, outside of the overwhelming flavor of mayonnaise, which is unpleasant. Whether you like mayonnaise or not, it just is not pleasant with this mix of foods. I will say, the almond, I like the crunch of the almond in this. I think it definitely adds to it. If this was just gelatin and whipped cream and maybe even like a quarter of the mayonnaise.
You know, I made the exception of the gelatin so that you wouldn't have to suffer alone.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about this.
And I really wish I would have let you suffer alone.
You win some, you lose some in this cookbook, and this is a lose it. There's a reason this fell out of fashion. Some of you have shared your memories, pleasant, unpleasant, hilarious, about your mayonnaise and fruit salads. So I hope that this brings back positive and hilarious memories for you, because we have to have some sort of a silver lining around having made and eaten this.
I would eat 10 candle salads if I didn't have to eat this.
It makes me very sad though, because those cherries just looked so tasty and I didn't want to waste them. Do you think we could like put this through a colander and rinse off so we can eat it again? Listen,
I would not be shocked if I walked into the kitchen and you doing that.
I don't want to waste it. It's perfectly good food. I don't want to waste the food, but I don't want to eat the mayonnaise.
You know, the ducks will appreciate this.
Last but not least is the lemon pie. Now, the menu gave the option of lemon pie or the cheap plum pudding. We had originally planned on doing both today. However, there was a debacle with the suet, and so we're going to have the redemption suet pudding later. The lemon filling appears to have not set properly, so we're going to probably have a little bit of a mess. And this is a store-bought crust again. However, I believe maybe this will be my last one. Cindy, you said you're going to help me out with a few tips for a foolproof crust. I am, if you've seen any of these videos before, if this is not your first time, I'm just terrified of crusts. I'm not great at them yet, but the whole point of this video series is to try things that are hard and you're afraid to do. And so with your help, Cindy, I am going to try something difficult. I'm probably going to fail maybe the first time, but then I'm going to do it again, and it's just going to keep getting better and better, and we're all going to learn together, and you're going to help us. Well, I'd say off the bat, the texture obviously is not correct, but the color of the filling is beautiful, I think. Would you agree?
I do agree.
It smells nice and lemony. It smells like a lemon bar to me.
Which is my all-time favorite dessert.
Yes. I do love a lemon bar. I'm chewing on some of that rind too. And it didn't get bitter. It's just zesty in there. This is delicious.
So good.
Texture-wise, okay. Yeah, it's a mess, but flavor-wise, this might be the best lemon flavor dessert I've had in memory. Like, I don't recall having a lemon bar or lemon pie. I don't recall ever having a lemon pie like this.
Not like
I've
this, no.
had lemon cream, like a pudding. I've never had anything like this except a lemon bar. And I don't recall a lemon bar better than this. My friends, make this lemon filling. Put it in everything. Put it in little cups. Put it in squeeze pouches. Just, like those squeezable yogurts. Put it in those. Carry it with you. This is incredible. Overall impressions of this meal?
I think everything together worked really well, and everything individually was really good.
Yeah, I agree with that. We've had some of these meals recently where individually things weren't bad, but together they just did not seem to make sense. With this meal, I totally agree. Everything complemented each other very well. All of the elements, even the really surprising ones. The peaches are something I just would never associate with beef. And maybe that's my own thing. Maybe you guys are out there like, what are you talking about? Peaches always go with beef. I always have peaches with my beef. I don't know what you do, but I don't. But it really worked well together, I think. And definitely that, yes, the salad was not ideal. However, getting the lemon pie at the end definitely made up for it.
Yes.
And if there were leftover evaporated peaches and leftover biscuits, putting those together for a dessert, primo.
I think you talk a lot about like taking leftovers to the field or, work throughout the week. I think these the beaten biscuits would be really good for that. Like just
nutrition-wise, this meal wasn't bad. We started out with a nice protein, that beef. I think for people in that time period, it's a really great option for protein for them. I would have liked to see a little bit more in the vegetable arena. And it surprises me because from what I understand of gardening, lettuces and things like kale, spinach, those sorts of things, they're much more hardy in the winter. And so I'm not sure why they wouldn't be doing more salads in the wintertime than what we have seen in some of these menus. The cauliflower was good. I liked it. It's a great option, but I would have liked to see a few more options here. Again, the fruit, evaporated peaches, great. I don't know where they were getting fresh peaches at that point in January anywhere. Maybe growing seasons have changed over the last 100 years. The lemon pie, it's lemon juice and a little bit of the rind. Okay. And in the fruit salad, there's a little bit of fruit in there, but I just would have liked to see a little bit more. Cost-wise for us, most definitely the beef was the most expensive part, and it wasn't horribly expensive. I think it ended up being maybe $20. The rest of everything, and something that I keep forgetting about, I think, okay, we've used some sugar, some flour, some of this, some of that spice, and I equate it to pennies in my head. But the last week and the week before, my sugar jar was full when we started and empty when we finished. And so I think my estimation of estimating pennies with some of these recipes is a little bit off. The amount of sugar that we use in some of these and flour is starting to tick up into, the last couple, we might have used $10 to $15 in sugar. And so I think I need to up my estimates a little bit. And I'm counting that we would have made the suet pudding in there. And so the nuts and fruits and suet and all that, I'm guessing about $100 for this entire menu. If you enjoyed what you saw this week, please join us next week where I attempt to make both a boiled dressing and caramel custard. See you next week. Whoopsie poopsie. This is making me extremely uncomfortable. Also, please, I don't want my countertops. Let's do this on a breadboard.
Okay.
Okay, I'm getting very nervous. Okay. And when we if you like what you saw this week, please join us next week for the second Sunday dinner. See us attempt. Oh, you're not going to be here for this one, I don't think. So I shouldn't say us.
It's the royal we.
Wee.
I'm ashamed of you.
I thought I had it. Oh no. Let go. I'm stuck. Help me. Help me.
Oh, there. There it is.
It's stuck on.
I know.
Okay.
There we go.
Thank you. This shirt is a pain in the butt. It just grabs everything.
But it's so beautiful. No. Yeah, it's less beautiful now.
This is Nani's shirt. Our grandfather bought this for Nani in the 60s, I do believe. Anyhow. Now. Whoopsie poopsie. Come back.